Good afternoon. If I could have everyone's attention. For those who are getting them something to eat, we welcome you to do so. For those who want to move up front, we do have a few seats up front. My name is Marcia Hampton. I'm the city manager for the city of Douglasville, and I'd like to welcome you all to Mayor Robinson's 2018 State of the City Address. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for allowing us to be a precursor to their business after hours today. And for those who would like to have an evening with us, you are welcome to stay at 5 for our council committee meetings and join us again at 6 p.m. for our legislative work session tonight. So it is definitely a full night for us tonight. With that, I would like to introduce Mayor Robinson. She's been mayor with us. As you all know, she has entered into her third year. We are grateful as staff members to work with her. She will present to you the state of the city. Her request for us this year was she wanted to change it up, to do something very different from what had been done by previous mayors. As you know, state of the cities have typically been addressed during council meetings. So she wanted the environment to be a lot more relaxed. So we hope that we have done that for you all and for her. So with that, I will turn the program over to Mayor Robinson.
Good evening and welcome again. Let's please give a hand to my fabulous city manager, Miss Marcia Hampton. She does a wonderful job. That's right. Well, welcome to the City of Douglasville's 2018 State of the Address for the City. I'd like to thank the residents in general for coming. You all did not have to take time out of your lives to come and listen to the state of the city. We are in fabulous condition, but I will go through the state of the city to let you know specifically where we are in finances and public safety and all of those topics that are so very interesting to the community. I'd like to thank the public officials for coming. Madam Chair, please stand. The Chair of the Douglas County Commission, Dr. Ramona Jackson-Jones, welcome. My Army Fort Jackson sister, Army sister there, and any other elected officials. I'll announce my council member. Are there any other elected officials here? Please stand at this time outside the council members. I know the state delegation, this is their last day in session, so they're probably working very hard at the state capitol. And now I'd like to introduce my city council members. Mayor Pro Tem Richard Siegel, please stand. Mayor Pro Tem Richard Siegel, Tributary District, thank you. Councilman Chris Watts, please stand. Thank you. The South Side Representative. Councilman Terry Miller, we call him Miller T, the architect, Arbor Station. Thank you so much. Councilman, I was going to say not Miller T, Miller M, but we used to be the M&Ms, and this is Councilman Mark Adams. Please stand downtown, representing downtown. And Councilwoman Dr. LaShawn Verdanley, who represents the North Side. Thank you so much. And we have two councilmen that I'm certain will be here doing committee. Is there another one? Who's hiding? Councilman Davis, what are you doing back there? That's my councilman, Councilman Sam Davis, also representing the North Side. Thank you so much. So this is more relaxed. Everyone who knows me knows that I love people and love to talk and interact and merge relationships and build bridges. So I didn't want it to be stuffy like it's been the past couple of years. Not that that isn't good. You always want the information, but I wanted to just talk and have a conversation more so with the community. And if you have any questions, we'll just leave a brief time at the end of the State of the City for you to address me and ask questions. So thank you again, fellow council members in the Douglas County, the Douglas Conference Center, Douglasville Conference Center, for hosting this event, and as the city manager said, the Chamber of Commerce for being so great to bring in a crowd for us. We appreciate it. There's my councilman coming up. So over the past year and a half, our community has taken deliberate steps in creating an enhanced Douglasville, and I'm so very proud of the progression thus far, but there's much more to be done to build toward a better future. And rest assured, Douglasville's future is a bright one. So this year, I am going to focus on the future. I know typically we talk about the things that have happened in that year, and Ms. Pageant has been one of our great supporters and a volunteer, and we couldn't do all these things. We've asked people to come out, over 60 volunteers, to help us on our boards and commissions to come up with this State of the City for the future, and so we're going to talk about the future. A State of the City address oftentimes focuses on the past, and I chose instead to focus on current and future planning and operational efforts that will transform Douglasville in the next decade and beyond. The process includes planning studies and so much more. By focusing on smart, sustainable, and inclusive progress in all areas of city operations, Douglasville can thrive in many years and decades to come, and I could not do this without city staff and without the input and support of so many community partners and volunteers. So we're going to start off and start talking about some of those things. Redevelopment plans. In 2017, it was the year of planning for the city. We had several studies that have begun since then, and they've been very popular and very great topics of conversation. So I'll just go through some of those plans that we've been working on. We've worked on the downtown master plan that was in the Chapel Hills News and Views. Everyone's excited about that. The 10-year strategic plan, the branding study with Chandler Thinks, State Route 92 relocation, pay and classification study for our great employees that work with the City of Douglasville, information and technology, which InterDev IT Management has helped us with to forge into the future with technology, parks and master plan through Los and Associates, the maintenance and sanitation facilities, which AECOM is leading the charge with that, and our SPLOST. And SPLOST stands for, of course, Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. The resurfacing project, and AECOM is helping us with that as well. And the community development, which Jacobs Engineering is working with. So I just want to focus on a couple of those things and talk about where we're going. The downtown master plan, so exciting. Any city, the heart of their city is their downtown. Atlanta and Fulton County is great, but you always think about downtown Atlanta. And so I wanted to really focus on the downtown of Douglasville. And of course, it's the hub, it's where people come to eat, to go to Gumbo's and Gabe's and Irish Bread Pub and Fabiano's and all the great restaurants, the Vine and Blue Rose Bistro. And a little shopping. We need to build up some more retail downtown, but this downtown master plan is perhaps the most exciting and most transformative plan that the city has had or been a part of in many, many years. The final draft of the plan was presented back in November after receiving input from several residents and volunteers, and it was presented in the Chapel Hills News and Views, and I'm going to go over just a little of those focus goals that we talked about. We collaborated with the Douglas County Development Authority, the City of Douglasville, Ms. Patrice's office, and the Chamber, and many, many committee members and community partners in the county. Was very, very exciting. So the area covered by this study is going to take place in historic downtown, and it has parcels that will abut to Selman Drive and Club Drive and Highway 92, and it will extend all the way to Stewart Middle School and the former Douglas County Jail. That's the real exciting portion of the downtown master plan. So it's going to connect neighborhoods and emerging activity centers and to reuse and preserve the historic buildings that are in the downtown area. Now that old jail is going to be creative space, is going to be an activity village, which will be inclusive of mixed retail, office space, high-end office, residential space, condos, a hotel, and a performing arts center, which is a public green space. We're looking forward to having an amphitheater, Councilman Davis, and some performances downtown. So we're very, very excited about that. We have the city in our downtown area now, but we're just going to extend, and so we're excited about that. So we've begun that plan, and we look forward to implementing a lot of those initiatives. We're working with the county. It was in the paper the other day that the county is really collaborating with the city, and it's been such a great relationship with the Madam Chair and the Board of Commissioners. We look forward to still working and having conversations about acquiring the old jail and working together with the county in that. Now, one of the things that I really love is beautification, because everyone can get around beautification. When your streets look good and, underground utilities, we'll talk about that another time. Where's Miss Odessa with Georgia Power? Okay, underground utilities and some other things that make your city look well, flowers and trees and bicycle paths. People have said to me, well, why don't you clean up the city first? And one thing that we need to clean up in the city is the old mill site. And we are really excited about that, and we're working towards doing that. The physical work will begin in April, and we'll start our environmental site assessment in ESA. And it will identify potential environmental liabilities for previous use, because, it's a place where we've had several different businesses there, and a cotton mill and some other things have been at the old mill. So we're going to take some time and do an assessment and have this project move forward. And we have allocated, the city council has really taken the initiative. We just acquired the old jail a couple of years ago, but in our budget last year, we set aside monies so that we can go forward to cleaning up the old jail, the old mill. So we're excited about that. And the city council put it in the budget, we passed it, and now we're moving forward to see what we can do with the old mill site. So we'll move on to Historic Stewart Redevelopment District, which is known now as New Horizons. The community came together. We have a group of citizens that are really energized. Mr. Nation is part of that, and Judge Caldwell, and our council members that live on the north side in Ward 3. And so the name is New Horizons, and this is called the North Side Planning Study. And it seeks to identify and eliminate blight within the district to prevent future blight and spur redevelopment to promote a richer cultural environment and enhance the quality of life for all the citizens that live on the northern part of the city of Douglasville and the county. Coming out of Paulding, we have that new Highway 92 road, $111 million project, and so we're really excited about when that is completed, what New Horizons community will look like. So we'll move on to some of our other studies. We have a 10-year master plan with our parks, with Mr. Travis Landrum, our parks director. So very excited about that. Something that parks people everyone in the city can gather around parks, because there is a park located in every area. Hunter Park downtown, which is near the historic downtown area. Jesse Davis Park on the north side, Fowler Field for the south side, Mill Village, and Willing Workers Park. So we have a lot of parks, and this 10-year master plan will address all of those parks. So the primary goal for this plan is to improve services and guide the future development of programs and facilities in the city parks. The city's citywide initiative is focusing on all of the parks so that all the parks will get some love and people can come and enjoy and maybe have some a little portion for walking dogs and riding bikes and all of that. The study is particularly important to the future development of Jesse Davis Park and determining how to envelop into the completion of Highway 92 and that relocation project. So we're very excited again about parks. Finance, we'll move on to money. People are very, very interested in money and where their money's being spent, and we should be transparent and excited to tell you about that. After talking about all these many plans that we're doing and how we've been planning these 17 plans in the city, I know that some of you are wondering, where in the world is the money going to come from? I'm glad you asked me that question, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm going to tell you. The funding is the redevelopment project is something that I'm always happy to talk about, and I'll start by telling you that our FY17 budget is $28,506,289,000. I don't know how to mix those numbers up, but you see it's $28,506,289, something like that. I'm dyslexic with numbers, so you all can see what I'm talking about. Okay, $28 million. 28.5, there you go. Okay, the revenues is mostly done by taxes. We get $22 million from taxes. We have licenses, investments, and other revenues. And our expenditures, of course, is general government, which is a lot of personnel, but we also judicial, public safety, public works, planning comprehension, and debt services. So we try to do a good job with our monies. In FY 2017, the adopted budget was $28.5 million, and actual revenues and expenditures for the year enabled us to increase our fund balance. Now, we have a healthy fund balance, and like at our home, it's really nice to know what you're getting in and what goes out, but you always have to have something for a rainy day to help you if the tires break down on the car, you need brakes, or kids need braces, and I know all about that. So the citizens want to know what the fund balance is, and we've done really well. Our fund balance has seen positive increase over the past 3 years. This is critical in reducing liabilities for future projects and absorbing any drastic negative economic events like we had in the Great Recession. And so in 2014, we had a $2.8 million fund balance, 2015, 5.7, 2016, 8.6, and now we are up to over $11.3 million in our fund balance for the city of Douglasville, which is great in 2017. So to help us with those projects, I'll move on to SPLOST. And we're so very thankful, the city and county, to the residents for passing a SPLOST in 2015. And we've planned all through 2016 and 17, and now the implementation is going to happen in 2018 and 2019 and beyond. So the SPLOST funds have helped fund many of the projects that need regular maintenance, so we can focus on buildings and funds to put forward to large, once-in-a-lifetime projects. And that SPLOST dollar comes from monies that are spent when people in retail, and also when you go to restaurants and stay in hotels. So the SPLOST dollar, transportation and public works, is 45%. And so, of course, that's resurfacing of streets, doing all those beautification, gateways, all those things that you want to see when you come to a community. Public safety, people move to communities, you love homes, and you can build your home how you like it, to the aesthetics of it, but you want to move to a community a lot of times for schools and for safety. And so 20% of the monies from SPLOST will go to public safety to help us help with body cams and all of those things that the police officers need. Parks and recreations is 20%, and then city facilities is 15%, and that's how the breakdown of SPLOST. So the SPLOST update, we will have something coming in the paper. I saw the county's update, Mr. Martin, on how you were spending the citizens' money, so the city is going to do the same thing and mimic what the county has done, but I'll give you just a brief overview of the SPLOST funds where they're allocated and where we are rejuvenating our current infrastructure streets to resurface, and that is $4.5 million. We do have a list for SPLOST streets and resurfacing, and I was pulled aside in Rotary the other day and said, where's my street on the list? And so we can provide that list to you. It is on our website, and we'll make sure that citizens are aware of that list. We'll print it in the paper so that you'll see where your streets are going to be resurfaced. Will allow us to improve problematic intersections, and will focus on beautification projects. The SPLOST funds have also allowed us to begin upgrading city facilities and essential equipment that allow city staff to have better service for the entire community. Now, one of those things that we're going to focus on is the new maintenance and sanitation building. The city manager has a quarterly meeting, and I tag along with her oftentimes, and so we went to the maintenance and sanitation facility, and I'll tell you, the police officers have a wonderful facility that is not very old, and we really wanted to do something for maintenance and sanitation, because outside of being safe, you want someone to pick up your trash. You want for your community to look nice, and we went in to visit with them, and it was raining that day, and it's over there off of Club Drive, and I tell you, we were sitting on buckets, and rain was coming through the roof, and the guys were just continuing to move on, getting on those trucks and going out, picking out trash, and so those are deplorable conditions for them to work in, and we're really excited that SPLOST is going to help us to bring a maintenance and sanitation building to our employees. And that building will be located on Cedar Mountain Road. And it's expected to be completed in 2019. And the administration building for Mr. Greg Roberts, who is, I think he celebrated 30 years. How many years? 30 years. He had a pen. He's been with us for 30 years, and he does an excellent job. And so he'll have his building for he and his staff that will be completed in early 2020. So we're excited about that, and Stranger Things is going to have to find a new place to film, so we're going to have that as our building for maintenance and sanitation. So now we'll move on to public safety. Public safety is a community can never hope to progress if it doesn't feel safe. And that's why I'm proud of my Chief Sparks, and the Douglasville Police Department. They do an excellent job. Now, I can't stop someone from going to the post office and stealing, on federal property, but we can, of course, respond, and the chief does community policing, which is an initiative that people are trying to do all over the country. In Baltimore, Maryland, when there was an upset there, there's a film on HBO, and they said, what needs to happen in communities is community policing. And that means that the police officers are out in the community talking to people, making sure that they know who they are, and educating the public so that it will help with prevention. And that's what our chief is stellar at. He's won awards for the Chiefs Association, National Chiefs Association for Community Policing, and we're blessed to have Chief Sparks. So Chief Sparks' community policing philosophy has created a strong sense of community between citizens and departments. Statistics have shown that adopting a community policing model reduces crime, and in Douglasville, it is certainly proof of that. Each year, the police department produces its crime statistics, and I'd like to highlight just some of those reductions that the department has made over the past year. Public safety, the key statistics, and statistics are sometimes boring, but I'll go through this. We had 11% decrease in burglary since 2013, 22% decrease in motor vehicles theft since 2013, and 0 report of homicides in 2017. So that is a blessing. We are safer than we were 5 years ago in the city of Douglasville, and that's good. And a lot of that is attributed to our police chief and their great staff. We want thanks to efforts to the Douglasville Police Department, crime reports in our communities have decreased, and we just want to continue to ask people to attend some of these community outreach programs, and so we'll go through those, and the chief is very good at this. He's so energetic, and so he offers the Police Citizens Academy that's twice a year, and it's always full to capacity, so we're excited about that. Public handgun clinics that are done monthly. Active shooter classes, of course, that's a reality that we have in life today, that we have to really educate ourselves on that, so they offer those classes. Neighborhood watch programs, they'll come to your community and set up neighborhood watch and help you to look out for each other like we used to when we were growing up, that you get a spanking before you got up the street if you did something. I know you see some heads moving. My brothers, I didn't get my spankings, my brothers did. But town hall meetings, the chief has plenty of town hall meetings. He has chat with the chief. He's gone to barbershops, and he and the sheriff have gone together to do chat with the chief. Community enrichment days, quarterly festivals, and so that's done on a quarterly basis. And actually this Saturday, the chief is having a Easter egg hunt at the department there in municipal building for citizens. And then there's a community house on Hollis Street. We recognized that we needed to have more police presence in that community, and so the chief has a community house there where he offers GED classes and parenting classes, and he has lended that facility. The former district attorney, Brian Fortner, has had meetings there, the NAACP, and anyone in the community that wants to come. And he also has celebrated 10 years with Youth Against Violence, a program that he started, a mentoring program, and that has been very, very successful. And we'll move on to our volunteers before we come to an end. We don't want to keep you all day. We know that you have other things to do, and we have committees in about 20 minutes. So because of our wonderful citizen volunteers, the need to hire more and more city staff is reduced, although we definitely want to keep our staff because we love them and they do such an excellent job helping to keep us out of the paper as much as they can. This helps to appropriate the cost savings into different services and areas where we can focus on improving our services in the community. I'm always awe-stricken when I think about all the time and talent that volunteers put forward to making Douglasville the great community that it is. The chair and I, after our Water and Sewer Authority meeting on Tuesday, we zipped over just to see who was in the city and county joint comprehensive plan meeting, and it was to capacity. So we thank the citizens for being there, and Councilman Miller as well for going to help bring that comprehensive plan for the city and the county at the same time, so that we'll be on the same page. Not that we are mimicking each other, but we're trying to make ordinances and permitting and all of that really seamless if you're in the city or the county meeting those requirements. So we appreciate the volunteers for coming together for that comprehensive plan meeting. So some of those volunteer groups is Keep Douglasville Beautiful. I was very excited. They have a Mayor's Butterfly Garden in Wortham Park. The Military Honor Garden, which was something that Keep Douglasville Beautiful does such an excellent job. That's located in Hunter Park. If you are part of the military, you can go and stand by the Army plaque and take a picture, or Navy for my niece, or Air Force. It's exciting to go and see that beautiful facility there at the Hunter Park. The fall and spring cleanup events that was implemented under Mayor Mickey Thompson is a great, great initiative that 2 times a year, if you live in the city of Douglasville, you can put anything out at the curb, Ms. Padgett. You can even put a washing machine out there and they'll come and pick it up. And so that's very exciting. It helps you to clear out your garage and your basements and get those clothes that the Kidney Foundation doesn't come and pick up. So we're very, very happy to have that fall and spring cleanup. But we have Bring One for the Chipper. At Christmas time, you put your trees out and get those done. Environmental days, where we do a lot of shredding of documents with the county. We work with the county in that. And the downtown beautification projects. And so that was something that I wanted to start last year trying to really help to make Douglasville more and more and more attractive, the downtown area. So the 17 boards and 60 volunteers, we had an annual appreciation breakfast, and it was well attended. Some of those, we're not going to name all the citizens, but I'll name boards, and if we have openings, we love for you. Ms. Joycey Wren is going to interview on one of these coming up. So we're just telling you these quality people that are coming. Bike and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, that's exciting. It's with the county. The county's helping us with that. I have 3 children, 1 in college and 2 in high school. They always want to ride bikes and walk. Millennials don't want to get in cars like we used to. They want to help the environment and walk, so we're looking to have those boards filled. Bicycle and Pedestrian, Animal Advisory Board, and that's with Animal Control. City of Douglasville Development Authority, the Board of Health and Community Services Board, Cultural Arts Council. I think it's a slide for this one. It isn't? Oh. The Convention and Visitors Bureau, Douglasville Convention and Conference Center, Downtown Development Authority, the Ethics Board, Habitat for Humanities, Historic Preservation. We always want to have historic preservation. Some people don't understand, but you have to have a footprint of your community so that people will see where you're going and where we've come from, so that's exciting. Keep Douglasville Beautiful, I mentioned. The Library Board, the Pension Commission, and Douglasville, Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority. I thought I saw Gil Scharouse here. Is he here? Thank you, Gil. Oh, hey, Gil. And the Urban Development, Redevelopment Agency, and of course, the dreaded Zoning Board. No, it isn't dreaded, but we thank citizens for volunteering for the Zoning Board as well. So some of my initiatives, I try to do 5 a year, and one of the ones for my first year was a career fair, and Miss Chelsea, one of our graduate fellows, helped us with the career fair. She's not a graduate fellow, I forget her title. Operations manager, there you go. She does so much, she just like duplicates herself. But at any rate, Chelsea helped me with Mercer University. They combined with the city of Douglasville, and we had a career fair right here in the conference center. And so each year I try to do 5 initiatives, and this year the 5 are Small Business Expo. I've heard from Blue Rose Art Bistro and the Vine and this podiatrist over on Douglas Boulevard that they want the smaller businesses. I know they come in the door and they have a 2 to 5 year plan, but a lot of times they need more help, and so I like to collaborate with the chamber and do a small business expo for those businesses under a certain amount of employees and a certain dollar value to help them to be successful. We don't want it to be a revolving door for them to come into the city of Douglasville and have to leave because they weren't able to sustain themselves. Veterans Affairs is dear and near to my heart. A lot of our homeless population, a lot of them are veterans, and we can get those veterans some services. The chair and I have worked with Veterans Affairs as well as driver's license to try to get satellite offices in the city and the county of Douglas County. And so the Bleakley building, as it emerges and comes up, we're thinking that that would be a great place for them. And actually our veterans supersede the amount of veterans in Carrollton, and that's where the office is currently, is in Carroll County. And that's great that it's there, but we really would like to bring facilities for the veterans here, as well as a driver's license to get your license updated. Douglasville Youth Council, just to have some young people come in and talk to us and see what's, to keep us fresh, because sometimes as gray hairs come, you may have a certain way of doing things, so we want to open it up to young people. Last year, one of the initiatives was to have an internship program, and the city has been so gracious, staff has helped to have that implemented. We will have our internship program this summer for college students. And so we're still looking at college students and maybe a high school representative, maybe Isaac will be good at that, Councilman Miller, to help us on the Douglasville Youth Council. Public art and government spaces. I was just at the Board of Education yesterday with Superintendent North and saw all those beautiful paintings from the middle school students. And the county always hosts and they have art from high schoolers and the CAC. And so we like to have public art in our public spaces and the government spaces in the city as well. And the last one is the Mayor's Cleanup Day. Again, we started last year, we're just going to grow, and last year in the alley behind Gumbo's and Fabiano's, we planted flowers. And so in those beds, we pulled up flowers. There was a lot of stuff back there, a lot of cigarette butts. But anyway, we pulled up all of that dirt, and Chan Weeks and Mr. Greg Roberts and a couple of other volunteers, Ms. Crystal and Miss Andrea Christensen helped me plant some flowers. So we're going to put the cry out again, the clarion call, and we'd love to have people come and help us plant flowers and make it beautiful downtown. So those are my 5 initiatives for this year, for 2018. And lastly, in closing, together we're doing wonderful things to help make a positive difference in the community. It's important that we remain diligent in our planning efforts and making smart, sustainable decisions that will create a better future for all of us, for this generation to come, not just for us, but for many years. Thank you so much for joining me again tonight. I'd like to just talk about a little bit about my staff. I'm so proud of our city manager, Ms. Marcia Hampton. Everywhere I go to mayor's conferences, and this is like U.S. mayor's conferences, not just the state of Georgia. They're trying to steal my city manager. So we're so blessed to have her and all of our staff, our legal and police department and our human resources. They just win. They're rock stars, Ms. Tia Austin and that staff. They keep winning awards, and so we're so very proud of them. I don't want to name names, but just to point out, Christmas time, I started the second year I think I was mayor, an annual Christmas family, and so we had the Souls one year. They're Catholic, Miss Jenny, and so they have 6 kids, I think 7 maybe. So they were our Christmas family, and then last year we had the Miracle League, who was the Christmas family, and Mr. Happy and Greg built a beautiful sleigh that Christmas, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus is in. So such a wonderful staff. I could not do it, and City Council couldn't do it without them, so we applaud you. And that is the end of my State of the City. We have about 10 minutes, and since I have lots of staff here, you can ask questions, but if I can't answer them, then I will ask the staff to answer the questions. So thank you so much for joining me tonight for the State of the City of Douglasville. God bless you. Okay, questions? Any questions? You all just want to eat. Okay, I have the judge's wife here. You want to think about the courts, huh? Yeah, he's done a great job. Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, if we don't have any questions, then please. Oh, there is one.
Could you speak to the Highway 92 effort, where we are with that? Is it really delayed 5 years?
I know it. I am not certain. That was one of our graduates from our Douglasville Citizens Academy. I forgot about that one. That was something last year. I actually was out of town. I don't know if this is being taped or not, but my mother passed, and so I was in Ohio for about 10 days, and I got back in on Thursday and tried to catch up on all of my papers, but I did read that Councilman Burdanley has set a meeting. It's going to take place April 12th from 11 to 1. The chair and I are going to be there along with other elected officials, but I called Commissioner McMurray today and left him an extensive message to learn, because we've heard different times from different people. So we will have representatives from Georgia Department of Transportation, Norfolk Southern, and Congressman Scott's office. I'm not certain if someone can come, but those are the players, and of course the city and county. So all I can say is we're not certain. We've heard different dates of when it's going to be extended, but we are coming to a fast end to get some information. So that information session will be held on April 12th from 11, it's a Tuesday, from 11 to 1 here in the Conference Center. You're welcome. Any other questions or comments? Well, if not hearing any, thank you so much for coming. Eat up, and then you can enjoy the chamber. Mr. Sant Roscoe? It's so good to see. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to point you out, but it's so happy to see you, and just welcome back, and your health, you're looking really good. Let's give him a hand. It's one of our partners. All right, thank you so much. Enjoy, we'll see you.